So, hello everyone. Welcome along to the Federation of Writers event tonight. I'm Janet, the chair of the Fed. It's good to have you with us. We've got a wee hour or so really celebrating love in all its ways, forums, and all the things that lifts their hearts. Our For the Love of Words event. So, I would like to just say that I'll just introduce us as we're coming. Tells on my screen kind of thing. Up to about 7-10 minutes would be absolutely perfect tonight. That would fit nicely for us all. And I'll leave my mic set to speaker. So if you're near reading, switch yours off, because if you start crashing about me a cup of tea or something, the full world will care about it. Okay, thank you very much. With that said, could I please, given I might have to jump to answer the door, could I please ask Ellie, would you be willing to read first for me tonight? Give you Ellie S, one of our board members who does loads of stuff with all the stuff I don't understand. Thank you.
Okay, these are sort of love related and not just the love of words. So the first one's a piece of flash and it's called Mrs. Presky. The first love letter to Marge arrived at the B&B when she was on her annual family sojourn to Blackpool. Mrs. Presky bustled around the dining room as she placed letters and postcards at various tables around the dining room. Full board was great for guests, not so good for Mrs. Presky. Every delivery reminded Mrs. Presky that her boy at Scout Camp in Switzerland was lacking in the writing home department. No news was good news. By the end of Margie's stay, she had had 14 letters, 2 deliveries a day, and Marge had put each one in her pocket to save her later away from the prying eyes of her mother. Mrs. Presky, filled with ire and curiosity by the 14th letter, steamed it open in the kitchen, surrounded by bubbling and hissing pots and pans, which reflected her mood. "Hey, Marge, hope you're home soon. It's been raining here. Love, Bill." As Billy Doo went, she'd seen better. Mrs. Presky resealed the letter and placed it onto the dining table by Margie's place setting. A brief daily reminder that all was well from one teenager to another. Fancy being envious of that. Her boy would be home later today. She was looking forward to his weather reports. So that was the first one. The second one is called Bruised. He was older, wore braid around his blazer and was popular enough to have been voted captain of Seagate House. What wasn't to love? I was emerging from the caterpillar stage and my braces had just been removed, so I could smile without embarrassment for the first time in 2 years. It was a time of long hair and hot pants, endless summer heat waves, talking for hours on the telephone, much to the annoyance of the party line, and snogging for what seemed like hours coming home from gigs at the Greens in Glasgow after running to catch the last train from Glasgow Central. Bruised lips. We lived in a house with an open tread staircase leading to the upstairs directly from the living room. My parents' insistence that I keep my bedroom door open whenever the chat was over, while they found excuses to come upstairs more frequently than normal, meant that my boyfriend and I spent more time at his house than at mine. His mother was laissez-faire and didn't intrude, so it was obvious that my teenage brain would think her marvellous. She was a Mrs. Hinch before her time, teaching me the arts of domesticity, which my mother, the company director, eschewed. Her favourite trick was to use a cotton earbud to polish the inside of her front door lock. It's a skill I never quite managed myself. We took our first holiday by hitchhiking around the south of Scotland, staying in youth hostels. When I look back, I can't believe how naive I was, gratefully accepting lifts from farmers and riding in the trailer with the dogs. We had the cliché engagement when I became 18 and marriage at 21. I traded up youth hosteling for getting burned in Tenerife on the honeymoon. For a while it seemed we were made for each other, but that's another story. Bruised hearts. The next one is something that was published, and it had to be exactly 75 words long, and it's called Love Bites. He had begun with delicious nibbles, proffering morsels of dates rolled in sesame seeds, honey-infused phyllo surrounding pistachio pieces, or rose syrup-flavoured cream pots with cardamom, accompanied by lemon and sugar-filled chai stacans. He nibbled her fingertips at a very leisurely pace, Ligero lips moving upwards over her freckled skin towards her pale neck and flushed cheek, before settling teasingly on her lips. Today was not about being fully sated. It was about tasting momentary pleasures. And I'm going to finish with a poem, which isn't quite so raunchy. And it's called Travelled Dancing. It's how he taught her to dance, placing tiny feet on top of his plates of meat, spinning her slowly round the room, using muscle memory to help her learn, and slowly, slowly, she fell into rhythm, pirouetting on her own, trusting feet to take her where she wanted to go. And so, on her wedding day, at the father-daughter dance, they both remember him teaching her how to fly. Thank you.
Oh, Ellie, that is gorgeous, that last one. Absolutely gorgeous. I remember getting the fear when I worked out that my dress was ballerina length and therefore folk could see my feet at my wedding. Let's just say I wasn't a dancer. Oh, that was what a set. That was absolutely fantastic. You're just like, oh, what's happening next? And specificity in that 75 word piece. Anybody who's looking for a wee lesson specificity or to make their work work. Excellent. Thank you very, very much for that. Could I please ask if Jennifer would be able to read for us next? Thank you. Jennifer's our treasurer, and there's all again number stuff that I didn't understand. Didn't understand very much. Thank you, Jennifer.
And Jennifer still doesn't know what she's going to read tonight, because I was once told by Emma Mooney, a writing friend of Janet and I, that I couldn't write a shopping list without it sounding romantic. So I'm going to try hard to sort of mix it up. This first one is about my love of art. It's about my love of Italy, and there's a few words switched in between. I was on a writing retreat in Barga in Italy, which is in Tuscany, and it's just the most beautiful place. Very Scottish. A lot of the descendants have been over to Scotland, made their money, went back over to Barga. So we were in a lovely wee art gallery there, and we were to choose a piece of art to write about. But of course, Jennifer can't just choose one piece of art, she has to choose three. So the three pieces of art were A Country Stroll, 1,000 Wishes and More, and I can't even find the last one. Coral Camellia. So see if you can find these when I'm reading the poem. It's called 1,000 Wishes and More. In late May, she visits the garden. Unaware, her beauty strikes others, watching from the shadows. Her skin smooth, a pearly sheen. Mischievous sunlight plays tricks. Early summer breeze whispers through wild auburn hair. promises a golden summer. Blades of grass tickle naked toes. She glides, twisting, turning, wondering, devouring her surrounds. Tender imprints flow in her wake. A swirling pathway, easy to follow. She stops, traces a coral camellia, late survivor of spring. Its pink tinge reflects her cheeks. The country stroll reaches its end. She skips behind a chestnut tree, their favourite meeting place. They hold hands, lock eyes, embrace. Pick flowers together, blow 1,000 wishes and more from dandelion clocks. That's number 1. Now, I think I'm going to do a silly one next. It's no silly, it's one of the loveliest poems I ever had to write, and it's called An Ode to Being Expecting, when I heard that my laddie was going to be a daddy. I picked up my phone and I heard my boy say, "Just to let you know, a grandchild's on the way." They words pulsed a sensation right to my heart. I was ecstatic, euphoric, but most of all feared. A girl or a boy, feather light or with a 6-pack, red hair like it's da or it's Bonnie Maw's raven black. Oh no, it might be baldy and look like Churchill on gin and have a ruddy great birthmark under its chin. There's nowt wrang with this bairn, it'll be born in good shape. And the midwife said the signs are all looking great. She said concentrate on how you can be of support. And I'm no talking Hibs, I heard her retort. Where's all that knitting from when he was away? Sure, I stashed it away in 1977. I searched every cupboard, emptied bags on the flare. Then I minded the press at the top of the stair. I found old patterns and pins with imperial numbers. How things have changed since tank tops and leg warmers. And now we've gone metric. It's totally bonkers. If a 4 is an 8, what's a 3 3/4? A braw matinee coat was knitted and pressed. That grandbairn of mine'll be the bonniest dressed. I threaded satin ribbons into each wee hole, tied perfect bows to keep out the cold. Our time was getting near and my nerves neared in. She was in a new hospital, but then she had to bide in. Her contractions started regular, but suddenly stopped. My worried son phoned. They've decided to op. Me and the other granny were holding hands and praying that everybody would be fine when proud daddy came in saying, "It's a boy and he's 10 stone 5. We all started crying. He started again, 10 pund 5, and his name's Ryan. Relief knew no bounds. We thank God all was well. I looked over at Grandad. My man was greeting. I could tell. It was as if time stood still for us as we huddled together, thinking about our grandson and his wonderful wee mother." So anybody that's been a granny or a granddad will relate to that. Ellie, I'm sure you do. I don't know enough about everybody else, but that was just something that I enjoyed writing. I'm now going to read a love letter, an epistle to my wonderful Dave. And it's called Time With You. I do love an alliteration, as you'll find out. Epistle to my love. I'd grasp strands of shooting stars, shower us in magical moments, immerse myself in your eyes, share soft, sensual seconds. I'd skinny dip lunar lakes, drift with you each gleaming minute. I'd handpick feral flowers for hours to savour their sweet scents, sing inspiring songs each day, extolling your passionate embrace. I'd weave a weekly counterpane laced with love in satin dreams. I'd leap over every full moon, take you to another astral plane, paint an annual portrait in oils to eulogise your being. I'd build an exquisite citadel set on decades of devotion. I'd spend a century craving your caress, then lay endlessly in your arms, sharing infinite intimacy. Will that do, Janet? I'm a big softie, I
Oh,
can't.
I'm greeting. Absolutely, just gorgeous. And knowing you and Dave well, aye, there's a lot of love there, an awful lot of love there. That's just beautiful.
I never grew, I nearly did, but didn't I?
Yeah, you did half a wheel. Aye, did half a wheel. And I'm no a granny, but I can mind Mark's dad was also a sailor, and we didn't ken about it till he showed us the 40s the day after our Alistair was born, the biggest shenanigans in the Navy. And he had put the Royal Ensign out the kitchen window to show that there was news in the family. So you made me remember that too, which is lovely to remember. He's a lovely guy. Thank you very, very much. I think you took us all away there. I'm a bit greeting tea.
I've got some wee sad news that Lynn, my daughter-in-law, has had her horse for over 20 years. He's 32. Took no well the day, and he's away to wherever horses go. So that's, if I'd had time, I would have wrote something to Barney. He actually, I'll send you a wee, I can't do it on there, but she actually rode on him on her wedding day. She had a beautiful outfit made. So anyway, we were all greeting about that the day. But so just here's to Barney.
Aye, because that's all part of love tea. Every creature around us. Thank you very, very much, Jennifer. Andy, could I ask you to read slowly, quickly, singingly, however you want to? Andy, it's great to have you along tonight. It's nice to see you again. I'm sure I've read with you at some before, probably Falkirk area too. I certainly recognised your surname when I saw it as well. So, Andy, take it away. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. I've enjoyed both of you. These bits, they're really good. And I need to find out about open tread stair, because I was writing something about the stairs at my grandparents' house. It was these flats, upstairs, downstairs kind of thing. And I couldn't remember what you called the stair, but I don't know if that's what an open tread stair is, but so look that up. This is called MacAliog's Half Hour, and it was written to try and launch we have pub nights. We don't have a pub. We've got a village hall in the village I live in, and we used to do pub quizzes, and it's a fearful thing. It goes on forever. And we've exhausted all we know in the pub quiz. So I thought it'd be nice to have sort of 4 spots open mic for 30 minutes in the middle. So this was written for that purpose. And I need to tell you about Jim MacAliog. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He was a footballer in the 60s and 70s, particularly bedraggled footballer. He made his debut, though, in 1967 at Wembley when Scotland took over the title of world champions, really, by beating England. And I've watched that game quite a few times, and it's remarkable. This guy made his debut, I think he was 20, just turned 20, and he commanded the game for half an hour when Scotland dominated Jim Baxter and Dennis Law, Billy Bremner. It's a marvellous performance. They were absolutely magnificent, majestic. And MacAliog and the manager, Bobby Brown, said afterwards that he was the crux of the team. This young man achieved a kind of grace on the pitch, which he never lived up to again, really. He played for Man United, Chelsea, all sorts. But he always looked bedraggled. It was always wet, even when everybody else looked kind of fresh. He was bedraggled, and his hair was about his shoulders and his socks about his ankles. But for half an hour, he was a football god. So this is MacAliog's Half Hour. PM's a fool, the law's an ass, justice passed, the president a brute and a boor. Greed runs riot, the music gings quiet, monsters rise, bombs fall frae drone dark skies, devils strut, while lovers and bairnies cure. The weather's shite, the climate's clearly no right, the planet's knee-deep in stew. And for all lang syne, the guy behind on the cart track B829 drives like he's Roger Moore. Shaken, unstirred, you keep the heed and do your best, occasionally wondering why. When worlds are taken apart, the only humanity left in the processing zone looks like it's AI. Oh, brother. Oh, sister. Oh, feck. Life's gi'n you jip and you're in it up to your neck. But have you tried the cure? Citizen, heal thyself. Retune thy departmental health with McCalliog's half hour. The rich get richer, the poor stay poor, the oceans are tipped, the rivers are sewer, what was sold as a trip turns out it's a tour, the truth's a lie that's never been truer. He's a fascist all right, but at least he's a doer. And Lady Liberty, she looks like an angel, she's really demure. Neighbour, pick me up and herd me doon, but dance me all around to a different tune with McCalliog's half hour. When Aunt Acorn folk dour, Sooks all the joy out of being doer. When you thought bleak couldn't get any blacker, the blues just got bluer. When the wheels and the sheen came off, and even Aphrodite's lost her allure. When hatred were hunger's le plat de jour, genocide and jackboots de rigueur, and the screen grabs what's left of the life you live through the viewer. Friend, retrieve your mojo, summon your banjo, crank up your pipe with McCalliog's half hour. If the floors of the forest are all weed awa with too much manure, the situation's no much improved, but to be fair, it's there and 100% newer. The dealers, the damned and the deed take the lead on the path to raw poor, and a rough beast slouches towards Bethlehem again, while you're lost on the ben, adrift on the loch, seeking refuge on Mara or moor. Comrade, pick yourself up, an accordion too, retaliate, globalise the intimate with McCalliog's half hour. When force duty's trumpet pits its dampener on your ditties immature and your ballads impure, your foothold, your credit and your tenure grow daily less secure, the stars above, sure they shine like love, but they shine ever fewer. On Hind, Rajab, and the Red Crescent paramedics sent to rescue her. And all the data shows the world's composed of similar stuff, too tough to even begin to endure. For all that, let's make it again, my friend, note by note, word upon word, kith and kin, the whole world are, with McCalliog's half hour. Maybe you're indecisive, you're not really sure. Your dreams are still sweet, but the body's just meat and the sauce has turned sour. The road ahead, its end looks dead, at best it's feckin' obscure. And all, you wish you didn't feel like the fish the moment afore it tacks the lure. Neighbours, friends, comrades, brothers, sisters, of this I can you assure. Existence is resistance. Dinna hesitate. Set your gating line straight, reorder a recorder, fiddle your violin, bang your euphonium. You'll no regret the time you get with McCalliog's half hour. Thank you. That's me. Don't know if that was 7 minutes or not, it felt like it.
That's fabulous, Andy. Keep me right here. Was that the game where Mr. Baxter took the urine by doing a bit juggly on the sideline and went past folk?
It is indeed. It was a passing move with Dennis Law and Jim McCalliog.
My father used to go, and back in the 70s, obviously, you know, the boss at the work wasn't too bothered if you were at your work or no, he still got paid. My father used to go, and he's go down to Wembley all the time and come back 5 days later. He was a Scotland man, the pocket man.
I don't know if it always turned out as well as it did in 1967, but I was only 3 years old at the time. But it's great watching it on the TV.
I can remember my dad saying, "I was there."
I think it's very special indeed.
Football is one of the things, folk love it or hate it. If they love a team, they really love it, and it brings generations together and smiling memories for those of us here that are football fans as well. So thank you very much, Andy. Could I ask Angie, would you read next for us?
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you very
Janet.
much.
So I've got a few poems for tonight, and I like to write about Scotland. So this is the first one. My heart loves bonny Scotland. My heart loves bonny Scotland with all its sheer beauty. John O'Groats in the north sends you off to Orkney, such a special place. Charming Gretna in the south welcomes visitors from England with joy. In between, so much wonder. Mother Nature painted her gorgeous pictures. Mountains in the highlands, stunning creations, breathtaking views. Forest areas full of fresh air, relaxing spaces on remote islands. The sea always near, and also never far, so many magnificent lochs. Loch Ness, Staftyte Country Park, Ben Nevis, and the Isle of Skye. I adore all these wee gems, available for everyone to enjoy. My heart loves bonny Scotland. What a wonderful home. That was the first one. And now the second one. The key. There is a key that opens the door to your heart. This key is shiny and sparkly in your hand. You need to grab it firmly and turn it around to let peace in. And then this one, that's called Love. Love, my blood and your blood is red. Red is on stop signs in the street. It means danger. Roses are red, cars are red, or not. Red is my favorite color. It means love. And the next one, that's called Made Especially for You. Made especially for you. Candles and lavender cake, skin lotion and honey sweets, pizza and fresh lettuce, a lovely birthday card. Just right for your mouth, the taste of a child. Just right for your heart, the love you deserve. That's me. Thank you.
Oh, sitting smiling. Beautiful. Some beautiful pieces in there. And you know what? A key for each heart that speaks of love would be a very good thing in this world, and wouldn't it? It definitely would. That's just gorgeous. Thank you very, very much. If it's okay, I will read a few just now. I'm conscious that my door might go and I might need to jump up, because I really, really would like you all to have a think. If you've got anything else you'd like to read once I and Anne have read, if we can sort of steer ourselves towards the 8 o'clock mark, but if we can't quite get there, we can't. So, as I said, I didn't write many gushy poems, because that way, if you write and your partner doesn't, they think everything you write's about them and they're your only inspiration ever. No. It's everything in life that's inspiration. So I love going out for a walk. I love being in nature. I love just seeing everything going on about me and sort of taking wee bits of this, wee bits of that in life. So I'm going to have a wee go at pulling up some Word docs. And the last one, I can embarrass myself with the best of them, not by singing tonight, but I wrote a poem based on a prompt by a poet who was known to be very comedic. And I had the bottle to read this at a swimming event that Emma Mooney, who Jennifer was mentioning earlier, was at. So yeah, I might as well embarrass myself twice. So I think we'll start off with some nature, and then I'll bring in the greater entity of a man's a man for all that, and we're all the same. Then a wee hang with my parents, and then I might as well embarrass myself at the end. So I'm going to start off with a wee triptych. Flying high. Rhythmic sky filling calls say follow me as wings tap out a Morse code beat, telling the leader to pull back and rest as another takes up this most trusted test. In trance I stand, watching nature's best. I love the geese. I have been known to sprint out my house faster than Alan Wells to get out the door to see them. I was driving down to Wigtown for the book festival one year, and I was driving through the Galloway forest, and I noticed, you know, that way trees like go to the light. There was this one tree that was actually had almost replanted itself sideways, and that's my son coming in. The dog's about to go bonkers. But this tree was leaning over so far that it looked like a world-class gymnast. Sinking to survive, bent backwards as if in hiding, limbs sunk in the dark, warm soil. A lone tree stood out by lying down on the Raiders' Road, star-lined by night. Galloway, your forests tell tall tales. And the last of this wee triptych of glances that show more than the eye can see is Macker. We got to Harris and Lewis and that a lot, and in the summer it's stunning, basically. Macker. Sometimes the light draws colours from within, setting warm purples on dancing green limbs, reminding me daily that here we begin to step forward from sadness and let the light in. And that was the trip when we went away, not long after I lost my mum, and being in nature was really, really useful to me at that point in time. So I'd like to stay with nature now, and it's a tiny wee piece, and it was an absolute happening. You know, it's a total serendipitous moment. My pal and I were again up north. We're staying in Glen Cove for a week, and we've gone for a drive and pulled in at the side of the road someplace just to get a wee cup of tea and a biscuit. And we're sitting in my wee camper van at the side of the road, and I suddenly sees this really, really big bird coming towards us. I say, oh, look. So I'll not spoil it, I'll just read the poem. Glencoe Love Song. 4 wings beat in time. 3 times I watched. 2 hearts, 1 wish. The heron's nest, built sky high, nurturing a perpetual hope, as secure in this moment as a wedding day promise. We literally sat and watched them coming, the male coming across with sticks in his mouth that were, 3 feet wide, it seemed to be. And then the female popped up in the nest. She was building the nest, and it was just a stunning thing to see that I would never have seen. I would just been driving on the road when I missed it. So that was that. And give me a wee second, folks. Ali, go shut that door, son. I'll see you later. You got loud at this end, sorry. And we'll go into sort of wider love now, sort of community love and love for others. There's a lot in the news now that's no great. There's a lot in the news now that would set folk against each other just because they come from different places or have different colours of skin. And it's really upsetting for most folk. But I remember when I was nursing, middle of the night, one of my registrars came in. This guy was Nigerian, and we used to give him every half used box of dressings and everything else we could to take back home with him. There was a Sudanese colleague at the same time, and basically if they were going home, they went home with half the stuff, didn't tell anybody. And he came in and he was really upset, and he sat down and he told us a story. And this was my take on the story. There's a wee swearing here, so I do apologise in advance. Needling, for our Nigerian friend. Suture held in steady hands, shaken inside with anger, as you shook with tears in the retelling. You sewed him back together. I listened, shocked, my hand on your arm, because that's what you do. You hold on to somebody who's hurting. As you told of having your very being questioned by, and this is my translation, you being far too much of a gentleman, some drunk wee fucker. Then in display of unity, putting the kettle on, as if to say in that Scottish way, sit a while, you're safe here. We aren't all like him. It's a night that's always stuck with me because George was the most fantastic person, and it was so annoying to hear that he'd been shouted and bawled at in his A&E department. He was trying to help folk. So I would like from there to jump forward slightly to a trip we made a couple of years ago for our silver wedding to Japan. And we visited a number of beautiful temples and sculpture gardens and the like. And this is Rowan G. And if you can imagine, any time you've seen any of these things, you just sort of stand and you calm and you breathe. Rowan G. Tracing stone seas to floating rock shores, quieting the out-breath on its release, to the trees guarding all. Senses stilled, only the eyes allowed to see currents move from carbonised greys to green. Your palate, as rigid as these bones, regimentally holding life together so nothing is wasted, yet colourful enough to last forever. I feel you reach in like balm to caress my soul and realign molecules to acquire summation of my whole. It was just a fantastic trip, and so wonderful to be somewhere that has got such a sense of calm and how they treat nature and the respect they have for every living entity. So if it's okay, I'll read two more. I'm going to read one of the ones I was talking about that was written for my parents, and then I'll read the smoochy, it's not really smoochy, the smoochy one about the other half, and then the funny, and I might as well embarrass myself, I might as well go for it. So I'll start off with the one that is this is the one I wrote after I lost after I lost my dad, actually. This one, I had to just have a quick look at it to see what it is. This is Stardust. If age was a number which stretched to the stars, I'd dance in your universe and travel too far, until with sorrow I'd remember you'd gone on to explore, leaving light to track galaxies till we meet once more. If age were a bouncing ball played with by a child, I'd press pause on its movement to hold you a while, and wonder against cooled skin still glistening with the effort of birthing the next generation. I'd count fingers and toes again and again, for blessings bestowed can never grow old. If age were a photograph which I could hold, without fear of it fading from fingertip tracings, I'd see the reflections of those gone before, your dark eyes and shallow cheekbones chiselled from memory, redrawn in the adult child I adore. But age is a wonder beyond our control, leaving me wondering why the years go both fast and slow. By a gossamer thread, forever we're tied, grandmother, father, daughter, and son, aligned like the stars to move forward as one. To age is not a gift given lightly. To stand still in its movement can never be a reality. Looking up to see where we align with your star, I see age as a glorious gift from afar, something to hold on to and wonder in awe until life lives inside me no more. And in that moment, my star too shall fall. Two to read. Excuse me a second, folks. Please just take a bit here and put him in his crate or something. Just keep things kind of quiet. Thank you. So I had sort of major foot surgery a couple of years ago, and being an idiot or very brave, not sure which one, I got both feet done at once, and I wasn't allowed to put any weight in them, stand for 6 or 7 weeks, which is nice for a long holiday, but leaves you wondering how the heck you wash your hair, because the dressings weren't to get wet for at least the first 2 to 3 weeks till the surgeon saw me. So I had to sit and sort of haphazardly lean my head backwards out of the bathtub for my husband to try and give me a hand to get washed. This is Cleansed by Love. Starting with my hair, leaning haphazardly over me to bathtub's edge, you apologise repeatedly in case you stand on broken feet. Bones held in white dressings as fluffy as the towels you wrapped around me. It is strange to be bathed by hands which have held me decades long, known but not my own. Later, you remind me of your summer spent resting, not from choice, but to allow bones to heal. You touched my skin, but in memory, I was washing you clean as your hip fused around titanium, shining like the sun all that summer long. My husband managed to break his hip at the beginning of May one year and with a very, very long summer. And I was still working full time with 3 kids, so it was interesting. And here's the one I built up. I hope you think it's as funny as I do, because let's face it, I might as well. So there's a poem called Kevin Higgins, Irish poet, who's fairly famous, and his comedy poems are wonderful. So this is his poem, Life, Death, and the bit in the middle, and that gave me a wee in for writing this up. So this is the bit in the middle, Confessions at Lubnik, from the Friday morning swimming gang. The bit in the middle, Confessions at Lubnik. The drive up holds an anticipation, thick as the butter dripping of my morning toast. I'd made sure I'd bitten off enough calories to keep me afloat. My bag sits winking at me, saying, "You brave enough, aye?" Hands gripping the steering wheel tight, ahead for the loch. Did I bring enough clothes? And is this really that bright? We're in, we're out, the bobble hats wobble, atop necks blue as the air. We swear loudly to counteract the cold. It works, don't argue. The change in our pockets for coffee jingles loosely as I search and dry robe, luxuriously deep. My coat almost bigger than me, like a trussed up chicken who can't see its feet. Then out it comes, my tale to be told, during the bit in the middle, the chatter and laughter of our weekly gathering before we head home for a sleep. This story, I'm sure, will get more than a giggle, as I tell of trying on my swanky new little black number, mid-afternoon with the curtains tight shut, standing in front of the full-length mirror, having to phone for assistance, totally unable to strut my stuff. The other half comes racing, 2 steps at a time. The calls come now to the bedroom, a rarer shout these days than back in my youth, when I'd have shimmied and shook my way out of any black rubberesque suit without it getting caught on my shoulders. Caught like a floundering fish on a rock, not the euphoric ending this poem might have got, had it rhymed a bit longer, and I wasn't such a stecky old crock. Laugh. Indeed they did, especially when told of how the other half proclaimed to any who would listen of how his wife begged for him to come upstairs and help her undress, to find her strung up like a kipper, rather than the Honey Rider photograph vision of a cold water swimmer she thought she'd become. And if you're going to embarrass yourself, you might as well do it right. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for indulging me, folks. I rarely read more than one piece, if at all, and I just kind of went looking tonight for a wee sort of selection of things. My tastes definitely haven't been in the water or swimming or writing and doing much of late, so thank you for indulging me there. Could I ask Anne to read for us next? Thank you very much, Anne. As you'll know, was our marker last year, and she's just brought out her new novel, but there'll be more of that later, and maybe a wee bit out of the new. Woo, 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 woo. Mine's just arrived, by the way, sitting there in its Kindle package. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think most of us have a love of books, so this is called Bookshop. What draws you into a bookshop? To finger through the pages, to linger, read the overzealous blurbs, ponder the front covers, take ages. Find out all about the author, slip the book back in its place, draw your hand along until another fills the space. This one's back is red like blood. The front gushes at you with its livid flood of praise to make you turn to the author's picture to see who has produced this work of art and decide whether you need to have it in your bookcase, a part of your life. You are drawn to take it, thrilled by the flowing ink, the smell of paper like fresh linen. Yet you hesitate, knowing if you should take it home, then your quest is at an end. You must leave these quiet tomes. You place it back on the shelf and linger. This is one that I was looking for things to do with love, and I came across this one, and I don't even remember when I wrote it. It's called Colouring Me. You lifted me from the ordinary and made my dull life colourful. Until that day, my life was black and grey, but suddenly it was a screen print on silk sheen in rainbow light, delicately flecked with a hue I had not known before, a spice taking me away from the bland. I stepped out with confidence, ready to reach for love and feel the delicate brushstroke of you. I don't know where it came from. This is one I was at Alan McClure's workshop on Monday, and I wrote this. Strangely enough, the theme was love, and he gave us as a prompt the goud of your laugh or yon laugh. So this is about that. My yin's gowden hair has gone siller, and I'm a warm lane without but a minding o' your laugh, your touch, and what ye gien to me, thon douce days o' courien in and conyin another beloved. Noo I'm fair hurt sair as I pack my treasures in brown paper, for they hae to begin awa afore I tak my lonely road with just the echoes o' yon gowden laugh to mind me o' you. This one's called Legacy of Love. You tell me a story, one I've heard many times, but each telling adds a detail. I listen with love because I see the pleasure it gives you to tell the story. You tell of childhood pranks, sibling rivalry, getting your own back, dramas that fade with age. Then adulthood, young, married, struggling, holding down jobs, keeping the house turning over. Each little detail woven with love, giving texture to the story, building a picture for me, giving you the pleasure of telling me about our past, and me the legacy of remembering. That's my mum talks to me all the time, tells me all these stories. And I've even written My Valentine. Other men might give flowers or chocolates, a token gesture to the day, but you give me the horizon. The strand stretches languorously ahead. We stroll, indenting, sifting sand with bare toes, ruffling the smooth dampness. Flotsam is embedded, ready for harvesting. Sometimes a shell or a rounded stone, sometimes a sparkle of glass. The seaweed tangles around our feet, and we head towards that distant horizon. Other men might give a shell or a stone, a token reminder of that day, but you give me the horizon. This one's called Mother's Love, bit different. A pair of swans glide gracefully, galleons in full sail. Their family grows, 6 cygnets, not so gorgeous in their herringbone coats. The parents teach their young the ways of the loch. They learn survival. On the surface so smooth, but underneath constantly paddling just to keep afloat. Then, one day, a daft dog swims towards them, looking for play. The mother swan rears up, full wingspan, beating like a fury, beak open, big enough to kill. The dog barely makes the shore. She backs down, feathers smooth, continues her slow sail, cygnets in tow. And this one's called The Other Half, Hoff. He aye thought he had another Hoff, but whether she be living or deed, he had nae share kenning. He would trochel to thon cairn o' rocks, and there he maun feel she was wi' him. He started putting wee bit mindings into the spaces atween the stains, a bonny shell or a wee flower, and when he sat there, he went into a dwam but whar his twin micht be. Then, ae day, his mother telled him that she had gi'en the lassie awa to be looked after till they had enough siller to get her hame, and the day was her hame-coming. When they brought her into the house, he kent her richt awa, and she kent him. He saw in her hand a blue stain for the cairn, and he felt he was hale noo. That's all I've got at the moment.
Oh, Anne, that's gorgeous. That lashing is absolutely gorgeous.
I dreamt that, you know. I woke up one morning and I had that dream and I wrote it down.
It's amazing how the subliminal brain does that sometimes. It just, the subconscious does it, and away you go. Sometimes you write something, you wake up in the morning, you go, eh?
I know.
But other times it's like that. It works fantastically. So, are you going to give yourself a wee plug, Anne, or will I give you a wee plug?
You go ahead.
Right. Let me grab my book. Anne, can you please put the details for your publisher in the chat? And if anybody wants to copy it up, they can.
Okay.
Mine's arriving on Saturday, and I can't wait.
So, folks, absolutely fresh at the packaging.
Mhm.
In fact, I nearly couldn't get to the front door for it the night. There was 2 books behind the door. This is my copy I got her. And I couldn't get the front door open, which would have been all right. But for Jens would put the alarm on going out, and the bloody thing was about to go mental. I managed to get the front door open enough to get in. So, is this your first novel, Anne?
Yes. And my last.
Oh, I can see Jennifer laughing there. Jennifer's doing one too. Anne, as you know, was our Macker last year. She's a stunning poet, and I'm really, really excited to have a read of this because, well, ken how well you carry words and how well you take folk with you. It's going to be fantastic. So this is Anne's new novel, Just Do It, A Week in May. 2 lifelong friends in their mid-20s escape for Narbonne. So if I'm not saying it right. Narbonne for a week of adventure. For Jen Barclay, the trip is a birthday gift from her close friend Lisa and a chance to relax and explore. Their holiday takes a drastic turn when Lisa vanishes. Alone in a foreign city, Jen struggles with a language barrier and an uneasy feeling that there's something she doesn't know about Lisa. As days pass, fragments of truth emerge through diary entries, messages, and unsettling discoveries. Determined not to give up, Jen pushes on with the help of the local police and strangers whose motives remain uncertain. A tense, emotionally charged thriller, Anne McKinnon's A Week in May is a novel about friendship and long-kept secrets. It's just been published by Next Chapter.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So it's literally just it. I'm hoping Anne's managed to pop the details up there.
Yeah,
just for you.
Just put the name of it up. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
I do have copies myself, and I will be having a couple of in-person things, but probably more local to here, than
Yeah.
very far away. But
Well,
it is available on Amazon, and it's on Kindle as well, which is quite handy if you're a Kindle person. Yeah.
I am a Kindle person. I swither about getting the Kindle version, in part because I find holding books can be quite difficult with my arthritis. But I wanted to get you to sign this, and you're not getting to sign my phone or my Kindle. So
Yeah.
I went and got myself a proper copy, which I'm really looking forward to reading. Fantastic, what an achievement.
Well,
I know that Ellie writes a lot of prose, and I know that Jennifer's sort of working away at a novel in the background. So fantastic, what an absolute achievement. And
I
we will,
started it in 2003, so it's been a long time in the writing,
well, there
off
you
and
go.
on,
And
There
you've
you
no
go.
idea how good that makes me.
I was
Yeah.
right on that.
If it hadn't been for COVID, I don't think I'd ever have got it finished, but I made myself do it during COVID. But it's taken a long, long time.
Good for you. Good.
Aye, congratulations. There's definitely a lesson in there for all of us. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Well, what can I say, folks? Thank you very, very much. We've been small but mighty right enough. We've been round the world and back. I've mispronounced places and managed to get embarrassing secrets out there. And that was a wetsuit, just in case anybody's got any inclination it was anything different. It was a wetsuit I was referring to. But I literally was standing there like this, my shoulders back going, can I get this off? And I was just glad my son had to walk into the room at that point because I wasn't reading that with him standing there. He'd been too busy laughing at me. So can I just say thank you very much? It's been a good wee night. If you're talking to David and Linda tomorrow, Jennifer, tell them I'm asking for them because that's a shame to hear about Barney. We will have
We're
an
on our
event.
way up to Skye, which is
Aye.
after our mum for the weekend. So it's probably time for her to reflect while she's up there. So it's maybe a good thing. But I will. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And we've had a one-line conversation Anne and I the day, but we will organise an online event for Anne's book in the near future as well through the Fed. And hopefully we'll be able to do that as a kind of regular feature for folk, because obviously our maker Jo is just bringing out her second poetry collection in a couple of weeks' time too. And I dare say there's others who have got things in the pipeline. So thank you very much for tonight. Keep an eye on all the socials. We're doing our best to keep them vibrant and entertaining and to take our members along with us and have folk want to come to things. We will be building some live events in the schedule as we go through the year. Keep an eye on the newsmail and tell your pals to join the Fed because we're not a bad bunch. Thank you very, very much for your time tonight, folks. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves.